Hey everybody, this is Darren Sabedra again, Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Joseph Dycus, Nathan Canilao, and Christian Babcock. Guys, we're heading into week 10. We only have 2 more regular season weekends to go of the high school football season for 2024 before we move on to the playoffs. A lot of interesting matchups down the stretch, including a few this week. I know, Joseph, you're going to be at a big one in Moraga on Friday night where Acalanes, who looks like the class of the DAL foothill this season, but we thought that was the case last season too. And their rival from down the street in Moraga had a little bit to say about it last year, rallying from 14 down with half a quarter to go to stun Acalanes to win a share, I believe, of the DAL foothill. Yes. Prevented Acalanes from winning its first outright league title since 1981. Acalanes is in great position again to win that outright league title. Joseph, what are you expecting on Friday night in Moraga?
I'm expecting an incredible atmosphere. Some of these games we go to, you know, the stands are maybe 70% full, 80% full. I expect this one to be packed out. This is a game that you're going to have to get to probably 2 hours before the game to get a parking spot. Acalanes, like you said, they beat Clayton Valley. I know Clayton left the DAL for a few years, but they were the first team since, I believe, 2013 in the DAL to beat Clayton Valley. And a little bit of a surprise because Acalanes, they graduated Trevor Rogers, Paul Cooner, Sully Bailey. They graduated all these great seniors, and hey, they just keep rolling.
And that Acalanes team went on to win a state championship after losing that heartbreaker to Campolindo. Christian, in your neck of the woods down in the South Bay, there's a couple of big matchups this weekend. You're going to be at one of them. You're going to be in Los Gatos on Friday night to see Wilcox and its Veer offense try to take down Los Gatos. Los Gatos has had the upper hand in this series for a little while now, although, you know, it seems like every other year or every couple of years, one or the other, you know, it always comes down, no matter if it's the PAL Bay, the PAL De Anza. When they used to be in the SCVAL De Anza, it always seems to come down to Wilcox and Los Gatos. What are you anticipating on Friday night at Los Gatos?
Yeah, I feel like we say this at least once a week, a lot of running plays. Both teams like to run the ball. But I'll tell you, after seeing Wilcox, they're really solid up front. They run a creative offense. I mean, they run the ball, and they have, you know, the linemen to run the ball pretty much any way they want. But they're creative, and, you know, the number of backs they get the ball to, the formations they use, they'll attack inside and out. So I think it'll be a really interesting matchup.
Also down in the South Bay, South San Jose, up there on the Skyway, Valley Christian, which plays very well at home, is going to be on its home field to play St. Francis. St. Francis could wrap up a share of the league title this weekend?
Clinch at least a share, I believe.
Clinch at least a share. If Valley wins, it sets up a potential 3-way tie, right, for the league championship?
Yes.
Valley's played awfully well at home. What do you anticipate, Christian, with you've seen Valley Christian up there on the Skyway? What do you anticipate against Kingston and the guys from St. Francis Friday night?
Yeah, they certainly beat Reardon pretty good when I was up there on the Skyway. I think St. Francis is a little bit of a different test. Obviously, Valley can bring physicality to the table. They'll need that doubly so against St. Francis. I think we talked about this last week when they were going to play SI. You know, you have two teams that like to run the ball, like to control the clock, control the game. But I don't know if they've seen a running back the caliber of Kingston. There are very few like them in the Bay Area, you could even say, around the state and the country. So we'll see if they're ready for that challenge. But it should be a great atmosphere and always a great view up there. I mean, it's hard to get a better view at any of these stadiums than the one at Valley Christian. That's all I have to say about that.
That's 100% accurate. I mean, you get a great view of downtown San Jose, about 10 miles out in the distance. Very impressive. Nathan, you're going to get your first chance this season to see De La Salle live. What are you most looking forward to see, you know, as you see the Spartans hit the road to play California on Friday night?
Well, I like the style of matchup. I think California, they do a lot of tricky things, a lot of audibles at the line. So I'm interested to see how De La Salle, I think this would be, one of the times they'll get tested in terms of just trying to, match up with different things that Cal Cagno and California is going to do. But I'm also looking forward to just watch. I mean, it's going to be my first time, so I'm looking forward to that vaunted run game and seeing how that works. I've obviously we talked about it last week with how they're on a collision course with Pittsburgh for an NCS Open Division title. So I'm interested to see how the style of play is going to match up with California, because I do think California and Pittsburgh actually run some very similar things. So I think it might be a good test here for the Spartans as we look forward to a big game probably against Pittsburgh down the road.
Right. Before we move on to our picks, there's a couple other big games. There's going to be a big one in the PAL with San Mateo playing Sequoia. Sequoia has come out of nowhere, and they're now 4-4, but they're right there in position for a league title. They beat Milpitas last week. Nathan, I think you wrote in Monday Morning Lights about Sequoia. What do you think about this matchup going up against San Mateo on Friday night?
I think it's a great matchup. I think, talking to Sequoia coach Frank Mims, he was, they started the season 0-4, and they didn't have a lot of their pieces. They went through a lot of adversity. Their field wasn't ready to start the season. So a lot of things went on, but it seems like the last 4 games, they had a really big win against Half Moon Bay. I think that's surprised a lot of people. I think Cal Preps also had a double-digit spread on that. I think they had Half Moon Bay winning by at least 10 points that game. So, I think it's going to be a fun matchup. San Mateo likes to run the ball. Sequoia, same way. So I think we'll get a good, running game matchup will be really crucial down the road for this league title.
And Joseph, another team that's similar to Sequoia that's gotten hot in league play is James Logan. Yes. And James Logan is in position to do some disruption there in the WACC Foothill Division as they hit the road. I believe that's a road game at Bishop O'Dowd on Friday night. Bishop O'Dowd coming off a big win last week over Moreau. Do you anticipate any way that Hardy Nickerson and his boys overlook James Logan as the Colts come to town?
I don't think they're going to be overlooking them per se, but even if they're they're locked in on James Logan, they've kind of shown they're better than their record shows. I mean, they gave Monte Vista a very competitive game, and they just trying to think of the right way to say this. They're 3-5, but they definitely have the talent to go up against Bishop O'Dowd. They scheduled tough. They beat all the teams they were supposed to beat in league, and I think this could come down to like a 28-24 kind of game.
And they had to work in a new quarterback after theirs transferred to El Cerrito. And a new coach. Correct. So James Logan and Sequoia have some similarities as they've gotten hot at the right time. You guys ready to get to the picks? Christian, nice job last week. You were 13-2. You pulled to within 7 games of my first place standing in the Just for Fun Bay Area News Group high school football picks for the 2024 season. Joseph, you're still down there in last place. Don't worry.
Unfortunate. I'm gonna be like Sequoia. Come out of nowhere. Come back and compete.
There you go. All right, let's get going. We've got game number 1 on the list. Saratoga coming off a loss to Jefferson last week. They're now 6-1-1. They're going to be playing 8-0 Gun. Gun has Jefferson, I believe, next week to close out the season. I am going with Gun in this one to go to stay undefeated. Lefkow's going with Gun. Joseph, who you got?
I'm going with Gun, and I think Dethrick Slocum should be on the short list of Coach of the Year candidates. I was doing some research. 2 years ago, they went 0-10 and scored 20 points the entire season. So the turnaround he's made is frankly remarkable.
There you go. Christian, who you got?
Yeah, to Joseph's point, I think they've allowed 21 points this entire season. So, yeah, that's a pretty stunning turnaround, and I think they're going to keep it rolling. I think they have to be looked at as the favorite in this division now. And, after an 0-10 season, I'm sure they're, no pun intended, or is it, gunning for a playoff spot if they can win these last 2 games. So I think they got this one this week.
Nathan.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with any of you guys here. I got Gun. I think that defense is spectacular, and I think they're going to stop Saratoga's run game. So I'm going with Gun.
All right, game 2. Oh, Cal Prep's also going with Gun in a close one, 28-20.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. Next one on the list is a DAL Foothill Division game where Miramonte will be at home. Miramonte is now 4-4. They're going to be taking on Clayton Valley Charter at 5-3. Nathan, are you going to go out on a limb and take Miramonte in this game?
I'm not. I'm going to go with Clayton Valley. I bet against them last week, and I'm not going to do it again. So I'm going to go Clayton Valley.
Joseph?
I just can't get a read on Clayton Valley. I mean, Campolindo, they beat them, I think, by 8 points. They lose to Acalanes. They've scheduled fairly tough. I'm saying all this to say, you know what? Miramonte, I think, is better than their 4-4 record, and I think they pull off the stunner here.
Wow, you're taking Miramonte.
That offense is no joke.
There you go. Christian, do you agree with Joseph?
Not so fast, my friend. I think Clayton Valley is a pretty darn good team, and I think they're going to handle this one.
I agree with Christian. I'm taking Clayton Valley to win this one, and the computer at Cal Prep's also taking Clayton Valley 28-14. Next one on the list.
What's Lefty taking?
Oh, Lefty is taking Clayton Valley. Thank you for catching that. So Lefty's taking Clayton Valley. So you're going out on a limb, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the first time.
Not the first time, not the last time.
Not the first time. Next one, we're staying in the East Bay where Livermore will be at home. Livermore's at 5-3. They're going to be taking on Foothill at 4-5. I don't see Foothill winning on the road. I'm taking Livermore. Lefkow's taking Livermore, and the computer is also taking Livermore 38-21. Joseph, do you agree with all of us?
I do. I would like to see Livermore and Granada meeting next week for a league title. So yeah, Livermore.
I think that game has Nathan written all over it, right?
It does.
Yes, it does.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm going with Livermore. As a Granada alum, it hurts me to say, but I think Kamari Robinson and Mateo Lordy, that whole offense is pretty explosive. So I'm going to go with Livermore here.
Christian, you're going to go for the upset, or you're going to take in Livermore?
No, in fact, Foothill, we've been picking a lot of their games, and they've had some good games this year. I did not realize how good Livermore was. They're a pretty darn good team. So I think they're going to win this one at home.
All right. Clean sweep for Livermore. Next one on the list. This is one that Nathan's going to be covering. It's going to be De La Salle at 8-0, hitting the road to play California at 7-1. I mean, De La Salle just has too much talent for California. They're going to win this one. But I would like to see California put up somewhat of a fight. But I think in the end, it's just De La Salle has way too much talent. Lefkow's also taking De La Salle. Computer's taking De La Salle big, 46-14. Nathan, is De La Salle going to roll?
California has a great offense. I love their coaching, their quarterback. They can really get it going, as you saw in Monte Vista. And with all that being said, I'm going to take De La Salle pretty big. I think they'll score above 40 in this game. So give me De La Salle.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm going to go with De La Salle. I think maybe Jadis Lucky, who is behind Kingston, is probably the second best running back in the Bay Area, at least production-wise, 25 touchdowns. I think he gets a few late, but I think it goes probably a lot like that Monte Vista game did last week for De La Salle. De La Salle goes up big early, and then it's kind of like, take care of business. So give me De La Salle.
Christian?
Yeah, kind of like what Joseph was saying. Jadis Lucky is a very good player. Unfortunately for California, De La Salle has about 4 of those that they can rotate in at any time. They're just too good, man. I mean, we'll get into this a bit later with St. Francis, but St. Francis' only loss was to De La Salle. I think that probably means if your only loss is to De La Salle, you're a pretty good team. So De La Salle wins again this week.
I would agree that I think De La Salle's starting to get ready to try to figure out a way to beat the juggernaut this season. I think there's one juggernaut this
There is
season.
one juggernaut.
And that's the team that De La Salle, assuming he gets by Pittsburgh down in that open division, is going to be facing. So next one on the list, Sequoia. We talked about this earlier. Sequoia at 4-4, hitting the road to take on San Mateo at 7-1. San Mateo coming off a nice win last week over Half Moon Bay. Christian, I'll let you go first. Who you got in this one?
I got San Mateo. I know Sequoia's had a bit of a bounce back second half of the season, but San Mateo's been really good all year. They're at home, and I think they got this.
Nathan?
Give me Sequoia in the upset. I think them getting finally healthy, that offensive line, Jordan Crockett, and like the last 4 games at 600 yards rushing. I'm gonna go with the upset and pick Sequoia here.
Joseph, you agree with Nathan?
I think you're drinking that Sequoia Kool-Aid after talking to the coach. I'm going with San Mateo. I read Dave Kiefer's story. They've got a quarterback, Cameron Palma, who is also a big Pokemon enthusiast.
He is.
As Dave found out, and I think they're going to shock. They're not shock Sequoia.
They're not going to shock.
They will
they're
not. But I'll take San Mateo.
All right, I'm taking San Mateo, and Lefkow's taking San Mateo, and the computer's taking San Mateo 21-7. Our Prep's computer saying it'll be San Mateo. Next one on the list, we also talked about James Logan, comparing them to Sequoia. James Logan now at 3-5, going to be hitting the road to play Bishop O'Dowd at 6-2. Bishop O'Dowd had a nice win last week over Moreau Catholic. Big second half by the Dragons. This one will pretty much give the league title to the Dragons if they pull it off. I think they will. I'm taking Bishop O'Dowd. Lefkow's taking Bishop O'Dowd. Nathan, are you going with Hardy and his boys in this game?
I am. I think they've taken the "not like us" mantra to the next level, and I think that they're rolling right now. So give me O'Dowd.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm taking O'Dowd. I kind of doubted them after that loss to was it Cardinal Newman early in the year, but I mean they've kind of shown that they're the best team in that league.
Christian?
Yeah, we talked last week about how Logan was probably better than its record, and then they went out and won a nice game. And I think if they were playing anyone else, they'd have a good chance to do that this week. But I think O'Dowd is too good at home.
There you go. And the computer also taking O'Dowd 34-14. So a clean sweep for O'Dowd. Next one on the list, Amador Valley. Tristan Tia had a huge game last week, almost pulled off the stunner. Would have been maybe the stunner of the season, right? If Amador had beaten San Ramon. Well, they fell a point short. Didn't they go for 2 at the end and didn't get it done? That's what I think I read. But
no, I think San Ramon was the one that went for 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, Amador is going to be hitting the road to play Monte Vista. Both teams are at 5-3. I want to let you go first, Joseph. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, early in the season when I think Amador was 1-3, Cal Preps still had him as like the 15th best team in the Bay Area, and I was like, that's crazy. I've learned not to doubt the computer. Amador Valley is they're a good team. I think Amador Valley wins.
Nathan, you agree with Joseph?
I do not. I think Monte Vista and Julian McMahon, that offensive line, they're going to really chew the clock. They had a really similar matchup, I think, against Liberty, and Liberty had a game plan where they chewed the clock up a lot. So I'm going to go with Monte Vista, and I think their running game is going to really lead them to a win here.
Christian?
Yeah, Amador's had some big wins this year, especially at home. However, they are not at home. And I think Monte Vista is pretty good. So I think they're going to win this one.
All right. Well, Joseph, I agree with you. I think Amador, that game last week showed me quite a bit. Anytime that, a team can play a 1-point game against San Ramon, you got to be doing something right. So I'm taking Amador to win this one. And Lefkow's taking Monte Vista, so he doesn't agree. And the computer also doesn't agree, although it has this game really, really tight. 31-28 for Monte Vista. So kind of similar to the San Ramon game.
Yeah.
So next one on the list, Joseph, this is in your neck of the woods where Oakland Tech will be at home to face Castlemont. Oakland Tech is at 5-3, Castlemont 3-4. I'm going Tech. Lefkow's going Tech. Computer's going Tech 31-13. Joseph, you agree?
I agree. I don't think it'll be particularly close. I think this could be 35-7.
Nathan?
I'm going Oakland Tech as well. I think they're going to win big. I think they'll score probably 40 plus in this game.
Christian?
Yeah, Oakland Tech is having a pretty good season. It's like they've summoned the living ghost of Marshawn Lynch. So in honor of Marshawn Lynch, I'll give him a yes laud and tell him that they are winning.
All right. Clean sweep for Tech. Next on the list is game 9. This is the Bruce Mahoney game, the big rivalry game in San Francisco, where it will be played at Kezar Stadium. Sacred Heart Cathedral at 3-5, playing against St. Ignatius, which still has WCAL championship aspirations. They're at 6-2. Rivalry game, anything can happen, but I think logic tells me that it's not going to happen in the way of a 4-leaf clover upset. I'm taking SI to win this one against his rival Sacred Heart Cathedral. Lefkow's also taking SI. Christian, who you got?
So you weren't swayed by that big Notre Dame win last week?
No.
No. Yeah. A little different a task for the Sacred Heart Cathedral Irish. I wrote a thing in Monday Morning Lights this week about how SI has just not been able to put together a full 48 minutes yet. I think this might be the week. I think they're going to win this one big. I think this is a good spot for them to sort of get everything aligned and get ready for CCS. So give me SI.
Nathan?
Yeah, I think St. Ignatius wins this one pretty easily. I think they're one of the elite teams in the Bay Area, so give me SI.
Joseph?
You don't know how badly I want to take Sacred Heart Cathedral with all their offensive talent, and they're playing at Kezar, and it's a 5 p.m. game. But I think St. Ignatius wins. But you know what? I'll predict their kicker Kenny kicks a game-winning field goal.
Wow, you think it's going to be that close?
I think it's going to be close. I think if there's one thing Sacred Heart Cathedral can do, it is score points. So I think it's going to be close. Rivalry game, anything can happen, but I think SI pulls it out in the end.
All right, Lefkow's taking SI, and the computer says SI 35-14. This next one on the list, we discussed it earlier. Big game in Moraga, where Campolindo will be at home. Campo at 4-4, playing better last couple of weeks. Just in time. They're going to be playing Acalanes. Campo's won 4 in a row in this series and 5 of the last 6. And we mentioned last year how they rallied from 14 down with a half a quarter to go to stun the Dons. I'll go first. I'm taking the upset. I think Campo I've seen it the last couple of years. I think Campo is going to find a way. Kevin Macy is going to find a way to knock off Acalanes yet again. Give me Campo. Joseph, do you agree?
I disagree. I think I'm actually going to go with the presumed favorite. I think Acalanes avenges last year's loss. And I think last year you said that Campolindo planted their flag at the center of Acalanes field. I think Acalanes does the same thing.
Wow. All right. Christian, what do you think?
That might be a fight, Joseph. I don't know. That causes some anger and resentment when you do that.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That there was some celebrating at midfield.
Yeah.
Whether it was the flag plant or dancing or doing something, they did something at midfield.
Yeah, I remember in the Michigan State rivalry, there was like a 2 or 3 year period where this happened every year, and there was always a pregame fight. So anyway,
who you got?
Who I got? I got Acalanes. I mean, they're good. They beat Clayton. I think they have what it takes to win this one on the road.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm going Acalanes. I think they've just been a lot more consistent than Campo. I think Campo's been a little up and down this year, so I'm going to go with Acalanes.
Lefkow's going Acalanes, and the computer's going Acalanes 31-21. So I am the only one.
You know what, though? I should be at that game, and I'm pretty sure that if Campo wins, I will hear it from all the Campolindo parents because I believe all of them watch this show.
There you go. Next one on the list. St. Francis will be on the road to play Valley Christian. Valley's played awfully well at home. They're in position to win a share of the league title themselves, although they do have Sarah next week. St. Francis has to go to Reardon next week. So these two teams have tough games in week 11. This is also going to be a tough game for both sides. I've been looking at these scores over the last few years. There are no real blowouts in this series. I mean, last year, St. Francis won by 10. They won by 7 the year before. They did win by 14 3 years ago, I guess that was. And then Valley won by 3. Valley did win by 22. They won, Valley's had a few games where they won. It's back and forth series. I'm going to let you go first, Joseph. Who you got?
I think St. Francis wins a low-scoring nail biter, like 14-10. It's going to be a very defensive, old-fashioned WCal slugfest.
Nathan?
I'm gonna go the other way. I think St. Francis wins this pretty handedly. I think Kingston goes off. I think they're gonna win by a lot.
Okay. Christian?
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the St. Francis coach who said he'd get 5 people to subscribe if I put gritty in my article, because I think this is going to be another gritty WCal classic. I don't know. St. Francis has kind of dodged some mines in WCal play. Some games maybe you would think on paper they'd win by more. I think this is when it starts to kick in. They're they can see the finish line. Like I said, they've only lost to De La Salle. I think they're a pretty good team, and I'm kind of with Nathan. I think they might win this one comfortably.
Well, this is a matchup of Eric Scherenberg, the defensive coordinator at Valley Christian, former St. Francis guy, against his brother, who's the defensive coordinator at St. Francis, Matt Scherenberg. They've had a number of back and forth through the years. These games are always tight. Well, first of all, Lefkow's also taken St. Francis, and the computer's taken St. Francis 21-14. But like in the previous game, I'm going with the home team. I think Mike Machado is going to find a way to win this game. And I don't know if they're beating Sarah next week, but at least for 1 week, with 1 week to go, I think Valley is going to be in position to win this league. I'm taking Valley at home. If the game were at St. Francis, I would take St. Francis. The game will be close, no matter where it's played. So it's going to be tight, but I'm going Valley. Next on the list, Wilcox, hitting the road to play Los Gatos. Christian, you saw Wilcox last week. They're 6-2, playing very well, going up against the Wildcats at 7-1. Let you go first. Who you got?
Yeah, I think Wilcox's path to victory in this game, they will have to get explosive plays. I don't know if they can just grind it out. I think Los Gatos is going to be able to match them score for score, so they're going to need some explosive plays. All that being said, I think Los Gatos is just a little bit of a better team, and I think they're going to win this one at home.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm going with the best public school in the South Bay here. I'm going to go with Los Gatos. I think this is pretty big.
You learned your lesson.
I did learn my lesson. Yes, I did.
Joseph, you agree?
I don't know about the best public school in the South Bay part, but I do think that
For Los Gatos? Who's better?
There's some, I don't know,
Are we talking academically or athletically?
Are you considering those?
I thought it was academically.
Oh,
Yes,
sir.
that's a pretty good argument.
But with that said, I mean, Los Gatos, they held Pittsburgh. You get Pittsburgh a close game for 3.5 quarters. Last time I saw Los Gatos and Wilcox play, it was the CCS Division I title game where Jalen Thomas scored like 4 touchdowns in 4 different ways. I think the Wildcats win this one, but I think it's going to be close to last year's regular season game, which I believe you were at, right, Darren?
That was a very good game.
Yeah.
Went down to the wire, went down to the last minute. Yes. With Los Gatos coming out on top. And I took Wilcox that game, and I heard about it from from some of the Los Gatos coaches during the game.
They watch this show. I know they're going to watch this show. So coaches, I'm going with Los Gatos this week. Don't let me down.
And I too am going with Los Gatos. I think the Wildcats will get it done at home to go to 8-1, and I think they're going to win this league. PAL Bay Division will go to Los Gatos. Lefkow's also taking Los Gatos, and the computer is taking Los Gatos as well, 31-17. 3 more games left on the list. We'll start with St. Mary's of Berkeley, which is in position to win the TCAL Rock. They're going to be hitting the road to play Salesian at 7-1. These 2 coaches, as Nathan pointed out in Monday Morning Lights, know one another quite well. They were former teammates at Moreau, in Casey Moreno at St. Mary's of Berkeley, and Chad Nightingale at Salesian. Salesian has too much talent. Salesian will win this game. Lefkow says Salesian. Christian, who you got?
Well, I'm sure I'm as certain as you are, but yeah, I do think Salesian is pretty good. Got a lot of talent, and they're going to win this one at home.
Joseph?
I am certain. I think Salesian wins this one and probably a running clock. I mean, Salesian is very well coached. Very, not to say St. Mary's Berkeley is not well coached as well, but they've got more talent. I think Salesian wins in a running clock game.
Nathan, does your guy Casey Moreno pull off the upset here?
Unfortunately not. I think Salesian, I agree with you guys. They got too much offensive firepower, but what a predicament for St. Mary's Berkeley. I mean, they lose by 50 plus to El Cerrito. The things happened over there, and they're in a spot where they could, share the league title. I think that's still, pretty impressive. They've only done it with 18 guys who were playing full time. So, but I'm going with Salesian. I think there's too much offensive firepower here.
Computer says Salesian big, 48-7.
Yeah. See, people watching, you couldn't see Christian's reaction, but his eyes got real big when he heard that score.
Yeah, did the eyebrows. Yeah, I was surprised. I think it said that the computer has it at greater than 99%, which is a large percentage.
That's a large percentage. Two more games on the list. Burlingame. It says Saturday, so we've got it down as Saturday. Burlingame hitting the road to play Cappuccino. Matchup of 7-1 Cappuccino and 6-2 Burlingame. Burlingame has the win over Wilcox.
They do.
That's a huge win. They also have a loss, I believe, to TKA.
TKA, kind of inexplicable.
Right. I went back and looked. Burlingame is 9-1 against Cap in the Max Preps era, but Cap won last year 20-19. Christian, does Cap go 2 years in a row with wins over Burlingame?
Yeah, I'm sipping the cappuccino. I kind of went into this thinking I would go with Burlingame, but Cappuccino quietly is having a pretty good season. They're just kind of percolating there at 7-1, and I think they're going to win this one at home.
Nathan, you think that Cappuccino is going to be strong enough to get a win over Burlingame?
I do. I think Cappuccino's defense has been really solid this season. I think they average they hold their opponents to 13 points a game. So I'm going to go with Cappuccino here.
Joseph?
Yeah, I don't have any Cappuccino-related puns to throw at the audience, but I think I don't know. I think Burlingame, I think they've got it. They've won, you said, 9 of the last 10? So, I think Burlingame wins it.
You're going Burlingame. I thought I was going to go out on a limb. Lefkow's going with Cap. The computer says Cap 28-21. I'm going Burlingame. I think they get the win. I think that game against Wilcox was on the road too, right?
Yes, it was.
It was in Santa Clara.
I believe so. It was a stunner.
Yeah, I talked to Paul Rosa about that. They said there were only 6 possessions in the whole game, which I'm not sure that math adds up with a 19-18 score, but very few possessions, 2 turnovers, goal line stand, 99-yard drive. So that can introduce some weirdness to a game.
That sure can, and a weird result with Burlingame knocking off Wilcox earlier this season. This last game on the list, I mean, and before the season, we had this one circled as a must-see game. We thought it was going to be, probably for the league title or at least have some league title implications. Instead, both teams are 4-4, and Sarah and Archbishop Reardon, and also both teams have 2 L's in the WCAL, which makes it almost impossible for one of them to claim a share of the title. Correct?
Correct.
So that being said, this game's at Reardon. Joseph, why don't you fill the readers in on what happened last year at Sarah when these teams met?
Last year, Sarah imposed their will for all 48 minutes. They ran. I vividly remember them running the ball on their first 6 plays of their first scoring drive with 6 different ball carriers out of 6 different formations. And they were running Madden-style fake field goals, I believe, in the second quarter to score another touchdown. And it was not close. But I remember thinking after that game, we'll see these teams again in the CCS championship, or we'll see them in the playoffs again. We're going to get a good rematch, and that did not happen. So
that being said, Joseph, Is Reardon going to get its revenge and beat Sarah on Saturday on the Reardon field?
You know, this game reminds me of the 49ers game I got to cover a few days ago, where both teams are probably better than their record or more talented than their record. But I think Sarah's going to be like the 49ers, and they're gonna pull out the win. I think it's going to be close, but I think Sarah goes to 5-4.
Nathan, you've seen Reardon. Are they going to get it done at home against Sarah?
You know, I picked Reardon many times this season, and sometimes they've let me down, sometimes they haven't. But I'm gonna get the umbrella out, and I'm going to go with a Purple Rain win on Saturday. I'm going Reardon. Give me that offense. I'm believing them one more time this season.
Christian, do you agree with Nathan?
No way. That is some confidence right there. Yeah, Sarah, you know, they've had some weird results this year. Some really close games that haven't gone their way.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will be motivated, and they seem to do well on the Saturday afternoon games.
Well, all their games are on Saturday at home, so they're used to Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so I think they got this one.
All right. I am taking Sarah. I have taken Reardon a few times this season, but not in this one. I'm taking Sarah. Lefkow's taking Sarah, and the computer is taking Sarah 35-28. So Nathan, chance to make up some ground here.
Yes, yes, it is.
That's it for the picks. You guys have anything else to add? Joseph, you got a closing shot?
No, actually, other than there's some really exciting league races around the Bay Area, and I'm really interested in seeing how they shake out.
Nathan?
I guess two underrated teams I'll shout out. I feel like I do this every week, but Mount Diablo won the first league title since 1962 with beating Berean Christian last week, and then Alameda stunned Arroyo. That was I would not expect them to win. I think it was 30-0 or something like that, 31-0. Crazy win for Alameda and Coach Robin Morris out there. Great. Two very underrated teams who I'm excited to see going forward.
Nathan, quick question. I watched the Cal High Sports highlights, and it looked like they had fireworks and they were popping, was it apple cider or something?
Yeah, fireworks. Apple cider, fireworks. They had a DJ at midfield. It was insane. It was a celebration of a lifetime. I think I put that in my lead. It was just great. It was an awesome environment there.
Maybe we should have been there.
No, we were there.
We're there.
Oh, we were there.
Yes.
Right. Wait, at Arroyo Alameda? Oh no, you're talking about Mount Diablo. My bad. Okay, there you go. Christian?
Yeah.
Nathan?
Well, just in response to that, it's got to be the shoes. I enjoyed that Monday Morning Lights item with those nice shoes. But I want to shout out McDonald real quick. They put up 13 points on gun. This is, if you're not aware of the McDonald football program, this is their first year doing varsity football. I spent some time with them before the season. They've been steadily getting better. They've gotten a few wins, and they put up more points on gun than anyone else has. So I think that's quite impressive.
That was impressive, definitely. Check us out, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Look for our coverage all week and definitely on the weekend as we close in on the finish line of the regular season and get ready for the playoffs. Thanks for watching.